Good morning, Sal.
Good morning to you, Rita. How are you today?
I'm doing great. As you can see, I'm very much lively. It's Good Friday. Yeah, I'm happy.
It's a holy weekend,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's the holy weekend, definitely.
Can see the vibes.
For the holy people, just like me right here, but yes.
Are you holy, yeah?
Very much holy. And for the sport, lately I've been seeing female sports. Is it the thing going on right now? You know, it's what's trending.
Whenever it comes to UEFA Champions League, that is the side of football most of us we do value a lot. Okay. Because it's only competed within champions are the only ones who do compete in this tournament. That's why I don't see the likes of Manchester United. They're out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
do you have any comment about that?
No, I'm not complaining. I'm very okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is it. Samdork is my name. Good morning. I'm in with a sports update. That is Rita Bakonze. She always vibrant every morning, Monday to Friday. And as we are going into the weekend, that's how she always is. You know, weekend moods always put people, take people high. Their moods are always vibrant. That's how. That's why you're seeing Rita in those moods there for you. Samdork is my name. Every day, Monday to Friday at exactly 8. We are in with the sports update. Let's start with the UEFA Champions League on ladies' side. You've seen Real Madrid as they were taking on Barcelona. It was a nightmare on the side of Real Madrid. They were banged 6-0. And remember, in the reverse fixture, they were also beaten by 6-2. Linda Caicedo was the only one who scored for Real Madrid in the first leg at Camp Nou, rather at Bernabeu, but those 2 goals weren't enough to give Real Madrid a slot onto the next round, because yesterday the likes of Alexia Putellas was very high. The likes of Ewapajo, they were very sharp when it comes to the striking force on the side of Barcelona, and now they did beat them by 6-0. You can see the margin is big there on the side of the El Clasico on side of ladies. But this gave Barcelona a chance to qualify to the semi-finals, where now they're going to be taking on the team from Germany, that is Bayern Munich. Remember, yesterday I told you Bayern Munich did eliminate Manchester United by a margin of 5-3 to reach the semi-finals, and now they're going to be taking on, that is Barcelona. One of the interesting fixtures we are going to watch. We expect a lot of goals train in that fixture. Okay, so that's why we are eager to watch that fixture that is to come this very month. But going forward, still in this fixture, one of the most highlights we did watch was Alexia Putellas, as she was making her 500 appearance on the side of Barcelona. Remember, sometime back from there, La Masia Academy was there on the side of Barcelona. Then sometime back she was loaned at Sabadell. And now she is back in good shape. Apparently, she's 34 years, 34 years, 500 appearances. She's having over 100 goals in her name on side of Barcelona. And yesterday, she did put up a very good display to help her team qualify to the semi-final. And possibly, they can be able to go and win this year's tournament. Because yesterday, I told you, Barcelona and Bayern Munich are one of the teams that have been so outstanding this very season, and that is what you are saying there. Her fellow teammates did celebrate her reaching that milestone, and she's the captain apparently on the side of Barcelona women's team there. Not only Barcelona and Real Madrid that were in action yesterday, we also had another fixture as Lyon had a very busy night against Wolfsburg from Germany, but Lyon were victorious. I told you yesterday that Lyon, they have a very good record when it comes to UEFA Champions League on side of women, and yesterday they did they made it to turn the result. Remember, in the first leg, they were trading by 1-0. When they went in Germany, Wolfsburg was able to get the 3 points. But yesterday, in France, things turned into their favor after them getting the goal. Katasov or Dunami and the player and other players were able to add on that goal, but her goal did push this game into the extra time. In the extra time, they were able to net in 2 goals to make it to make it 3-1 in their favor, and now they're going to be taking on Arsenal in the semi-final. Remember, this is one of the fixtures we watched last edition in the knockout stages as Arsenal were eliminating Lyon. And now we are waiting to see on this year's edition how who will proceed and go to the finals. Remember, Lyon are the record holders when it comes to UEFA Champions League. You may ask me, the likes of Arsenal, where they Arsenal actually were getting their second UEFA Champions League on the side of ladies. Barcelona, they are there, and the good season that they are. Bayern Munich did put in place, so you expect a lot of fire and good football to watch there in those semi-final fixtures on the side of women's UEFA Champions League. Okay, that is it for UEFA Champions League. On the side of ladies, let's leave alone that and cross over to Italy national team. Remember, Italy failed to qualify to the World Cup of this year, that is to come June this year, around 11th of June. Yes, we'll be kicking it off in USA, Canada, and Mexico. But Italy weren't able to qualify after them being eliminated by Bosnia and Herzegovina. Remember, they fall short within the penalty shootout. Now, what came out from their camp, the head of chief directors, that is in the name of Gianni Buffon. That is the fixture as they were eliminated by Bosnia and Herzegovina. But Gianni Buffon, I remember him way back at the Zulus national team. He was their first choice goalkeeper in the edition that where they last appeared in the World Cup way back in Brazil 2014. He was the man in the sticks, but still in that edition, their journey didn't exceed the group stages. But the man you are seeing there, he has been serving on the national team. Yesterday, he did resign on he did resign, and now we are waiting to see who will Italy replace him with. The edition Italy that last appeared in the UEFA in the World Cup, as I've told you, way back in 2014. After them failing to go out of the group stages, Buffon was in the sticks. But that is not the factor. The only highlight that Italy had in that fixture is when at the moment when Uruguay's striker in the name of Luis Suarez landed his teeth to their defender Giorgio Chiellini. That is the only highlight they did they got in that edition. But now the guy you are seeing there, he has resigned from his role. Not only him, even the federation president in the name of Gabriel Gravini did also put down his office so to say whether the government can be in position to help them get the right candidate to sit in that position. And now all eyes on Gattuso, the head coach. Remember, now there are 3 editions now when Italy are missing out of the World Cup editions. We are waiting to see what are they going to put in place. The new team that is going to be taking over, will they build another squad that will help that is Italy to actually to compete in all UEFA Europa, actually UEFA Nations League, UEFA actually they have UEFA Cup there. So We are waiting to see. But Gravini and Buffon did resign yesterday after that is Italy failing to qualify for FIFA World Cup this year's edition. That is Grafani Gabriel, who has been the federation president in Italy. There for you. Okay, leaving alone what was there in Italy last night and crossover. That is the team. Who is in the middle is the head coach in the name of Gian Gattuso. We are waiting to see, will he also resign, because the two did resign. That is it from Italy. But when we cross over to Uganda, tonight we are having a fixture in Uganda Cup. Remember, we are trying to see this fixture as NEC is going to be hosting, that is Vipers FC at Philip Omondi Stadium in Lugogo. NEC FC, they have a chance to eliminate Vipers, and this is the only path they have to see whether they can also go back onto the continental level. If possibly, it could be the Confederations Cup, African Confederations Cup, there for you. But this fixture is there tonight. We are waiting to see, will Vipers be able to turn to go through, because they are chasing 2 trophies this season, Uganda Cup and the StarTimes Uganda Premier League there in the Ugandan football. Other fixtures you are watching on your screen there. They are to come tomorrow. We'll be having URA taking on KCCA, and Vipers, rather FC Villa, along the way they will be coming with Happy Boise. Then Kitala will take on Express FC in the Uganda Cup there. Lastly, some fixtures that are to come within the FA Cup this weekend. Arsenal, with their big injury list, they are going to be taking on Southampton. Then Manchester City in the early kickoff tomorrow. They are going to be hosting Liverpool. Then Chelsea will be taking on Port Vale in the FA Cup there for you. Okay, for now, let me hand you over to Rita Bakunzi. New day is still going on. Don't miss TV1 Sports at 3 p.m. to 4 there at on TV1. But for now, let me take you over. Let me take you back to Rita Bakunzi. New day is still on. Good morning.
Yes, a good morning. That is Sam Derek Kaliango for you. He always has all the best. He has the first-class information about sports. So that was what we had with the sports updates, and look out for more updates today. Not forgetting, today is Good Friday. We are celebrating the crucifixion of Jesus, which stands for which stands for our sins. You know, he laid at the cross, and you know, he died for all our sins, for us to be born again and to be people that are renewed in Christ, and you know, to strengthen our relationship with God, his Father. So we'll be heading on to our next story, which is the Epstein files. We've been talking about the US, like the US-Israel war against Iran. So we'll be talking about the difference, how it has been able to actually position these particular states that are, or powers that are involved in this war. We've talked about how United States, whether it was ready or not, or whether it underestimated the strength, the warfare capacity of Iran. We've also talked about Israel's Netanyahu's influence on this conflict. And that all has also driven us to the Epstein files. So now we're going to be talking about the Epstein files. These are documents, or they are over 3 million pages of documents that have been released partially. They started getting released last year, you know, in the late 2025. And with these documents, there is over 180,000 images and 2,000 videos. You know, these all videos, they all have, it's all proof against Jeffrey Epstein, and most of this evidence is involved, or part of this evidence is FBI gatherings, you know, records from the FBI, as well as flight logs. You know, they all show his vast cooperation with high-level officials in the United States, and not only the United States, the whole world, because you know, we have Prince Andrew, it mentions Bill Clinton, it mentions President Trump, it mentions a lot of it also actually mentions Michael Jackson at a point. So according to these documents, so they are very vast documents, and they started being released after President Trump signed the Jeffrey Epstein Transparency Act. So that act is what led to these files being released out in the public. Though they do involve a lot of redactions, The first ones to be released were released in December of 2025. Then there is other pages. There is other that is over 3 million pages. Those ones were released on the 30th of January in 2026. So with these, there is a lot of controversies that have been put out. People say that they are not protecting the victims as much as they said they would, because there is a lot of reductions, and these reductions were made to protect the victims of the, of Jeffrey Epstein. But surprisingly, most of the reductions are hiding official names, names of high-end officials, of the rich people in the United States. So the reductions are instead protecting the culprits, or the people that actually took part in these kinds of activities that Jeffrey Epstein was performing. And some of the victims have actually been put out. They've not been protected, just like it was promised. So they have been let out, but almost 90% of this information has still been kept to the FBI itself. The information has still been withheld, despite them saying that, or allegedly saying that all information is public information now and is for public use. So, Doctor, we are, next we are talking about that, before we went for the sports update, we had, drawn a line to the Epstein files, saying that there is also controversy saying, conspiracy theories that do say that these Epstein files also led to this conflict that's happened in Iran and, between US and Iran. So, there is that kind of a pressure that, pushed this to try and drive away, the attention or focus of people from the files to this.
Yes, the fact that it is now known, known that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad operative. Mossad is just like you see KGB, it's just like you see MI5, just like you see CIA. Mossad is a security agency, a spy agency or spy network organ for Israel. And the fact that it was operational in America, that makes him a little bit of a... And the two, they were close. They were very close. There are so many videos that you've been in position to look at Jeffrey Epstein hugging and kissing with Donald Trump. That is before Donald Trump becoming a president. And the fact that most of his atrocities or crimes were committed within New York. And Donald Trump is one of the biggest people that have been very famous in New York from the early 1980s and all that. And he has always been close to celebrities. They are. And it's not very surprising that Jeffrey Epstein died in 2019. That was after Donald Trump becoming a president. Because that's when he was captured, and he died in prison, like he choked himself, he strangled himself using toilet paper material. That's a little bit weird. So we have that is being so much connected. Allegations are saying that Trump has been mentioned almost 3,000 times, and probably that's why people are saying that it's because of that kind of height, because of that kind of pressure, that it was a little bit easier for Benjamin Netanyahu to influence Donald Trump such that can be in position to take that. But of course, like you've said, they are conspiracy theories. Yeah.
So just like, do we see, by the way, to drive away from the conspiracy theory, point of it, do we see any point of possible peace talks to happen between the United States and Iran?
Yes, peace talks have been held. They have been held in Pakistan. They've been held in Pakistan. Pakistan is one of the closest countries to Iran, but is also a little bit close to America because they have a lot of influence there, and countries like other European countries also have influence there. So yes, Pakistan has stepped up to ensure that they have peace talks, but the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps are not really ready to have to go into negotiations. Why? Because America did something that's a bit weird. You can't eliminate all the leadership. Yeah. Now, why America is coming to these big talks? Because at the end of the day, they have failed to come up with a clear approach. The best approach America would be in position to take or to use would be when the people in Iran rise up against the leadership. But that is almost impossible. Actually, the killing of the Ayatollah and the so many leaders are instead united and brought together more people in Iran. So what Trump expected to have, it has not worked. It So it's not working, it's failing. So they are failing to come up with a clear approach. But of course, they're trying to come up with their military approach. They can be in a position to take over one of the biggest islands in Iran. So, but to go back to the peace talks, yes, peace talks are being initiated. They've not been in a position to have face-to-face discussions, because in diplomacy, you can have a lot of talks. You know, it is a little bit of a gradual process. You just can't come and confront your counterpart that let's get the negotiations.
Yeah, and also the possibility of these peace talks happening, because there are rumors that Israel as well does not want these peace talks. Israel is not in it for peace at any one point. Though there was a report, I think, where Israel said that Iran is winning the war, but Israel does not want the peace talks. And then Trump, one day he wants that to have peace talks, and then one day he says he does not want the peace talks. So on a scale, if we are to give this on a scale of 100%, do we ever see the peace talks actually happening? What scale could we actually rate it at?
Yeah, the peace talks are going on, like we said. Trump came up with the 15 points. Trump is known for 10 points, for 15 points. He came up with the 20 points plan in Gaza, which has been a little bit 50-50, not even 50. Like it has been like 10% success. He also came up with the 15 points with Russia and Ukraine. He's learning from a gentleman called Woodrow Wilson. Yeah. Woodrow Wilson was the American president after World War I, actually from 1916 up to 1921. Now, Woodrow Wilson was an American professor who took over leadership. He was the professor of public administration. He took over the leadership and is the one that came up with the 14 points in 1919, after the end of World War I, that was in position to take over, to ensure that America moves forward. And that was the basis of the creation of what came to be known as the League of Nations. So Trump is trying to position himself like Woodrow Wilson, just like he did in 1919 and 1918. But of course, the possibility of this war, yes, people of Iran are being in position to say, yes, you've been in position to give us for 15 points, but this is also what we want. Number one, we want Israel to ensure that they are not going to attack us anymore. Number two, we want America to uplift, to take away all their installations in the Middle East and the West Asia. That is from Bahrain, from Qatar, from UAE, from Kuwait, from Lebanon, in each and every country where America has military installations. They have to be taken away. Two, they have to ensure that America doesn't support any militia groups that are against Israel. And if you happen to look at the end of the bargain, in other words, what Iran has been in position to ask for, it's going to be a little bit hard for America to provide. Yes, America has put up 15 points of what they believe can be in a position to shape the discussions over the peace talks. But according to what Iran is also claiming for, it's a little bit hard. But of course,
is it only the United States that wants to have these peace talks?
No, everyone wants the talks. Definitely. Yes, everyone.
Iran wants the talks?
Yes, everyone wants the talks, because at the end of the day, yes, Iran can be in a position to fight, but what will happen if NATO comes in? Yes, you can be in a position, maybe. What happens if America decides to declare a full-scale war? Because what you're looking at, America has not been in position to declare a full-scale war. If America declares a full-scale war, come on, the entire 90 million people can be annihilated.
Hasn't America failed to declare such a strong war because it no longer has the means? Because remember, NATO also refused to support it.
It has the means. America has the means.
But oh my God, you've talked about NATO. NATO refused to back the United States.
America alone can be in a position to put down Iran.
But we've seen America asking for help from NATO, from other states, from
But this is what America needs. In order for America to declare a full-scale war, you need a miracle. Probably let Iran maybe attack one of the biggest military headquarters of any NATO country, maybe Turkey. Because of all the countries that Iran have attacked, they've not attacked Turkey. Now they have attacked Bahrain, they've been in position to hit in Lebanon.
There was an airport in Turkey.
No, they've not hit Turkey.
It wasn't in Turkey.
They've hit one, they've hit Prince Sultan in Saudi Arabia. They've hit military installations in Kuwait. They've hit an airport. Actually, it is in Iraq. Yeah, it was in Iraq. But if they hit Turkey, Turkey is a NATO member. Now, when you declare a war towards any NATO member like Turkey, all NATO members are going to come. So that's why the Iranian people are also very calculative. They have attacked all countries, but they've not attacked NATO. So meaning that they know exactly what that means. So if America declares full-scale war, come on, Iran cannot survive. But in order to do that, you also need what you call a public opinion. Public opinion is you must have pressure. You must have support at home. And the only way that Iran can be in position, America can be in position to get support at home is when basically or possibly when American troops have been hit that much. Maybe if by some ways in a given way, Iran attacks California. You know, when American people get threatened, everyone will be behind Donald Trump. Now, what is making it a little bit hard for America to declare a full-scale war is because America has come. This is not a conflict between America and Israel. It's a conflict between Israel and Iran. But America is just dragged in. But if America is in position to lose most of their biggest installments, definitely America can declare a full-scale war, but that is a little bit very far now. It's a little bit very far. But if America declares a full-scale war, come on, Iran cannot survive. So I'm saying that because I want you to know that even Iran needs peace talks. Yeah, they will need to have peace talks because initially they were in a position to have the peace talks. Last year in June they had. Even this year, in Feb, they were in a position to come in for peace talks. No one would like to have a war, a war that has been fought for so many, for so many weeks, because at the end of the day, you're not benefiting. Yes, Iran can be in a position to put up some resistance right now, but they're only fighting America. What will happen if NATO members come in? So yes, they also need the peace talks.
Yeah, so away from these peace talks, this war majorly is, do we see this war, has it been able to permanently affect West Asia? Because, we've seen Lebanon, we've seen Iraq, we've also seen Syria, we've seen multiple of these states, they've been able to face the violence. Just like you've said, Iran has been able to hit most of the particular states, but not the ones that are NATO aligned. So what impact has this had on West Asia?
Definitely, they've been in position to hit, but they've been in position to hit only metal installations. They've not hit specific cities, like they've not hit Beirut, that's in Lebanon. They've hit specific cities or specific areas where America has their metal installations. Because they go like, if Kuwait allows America to lose their space, such that America can use them as launch pads when they are attacking Iran. Iran people have been in position to say, okay, whoever, any country within the Western Asian part that allows America to use their lands or their territories as launch pads, Iran will get in position of defending themselves. Even when you look at what they've been in position to hit in Bahrain, they've been in position to hit the 50th fleet in Bahrain, they've been in position to hit in Qatar, and all their targets are military installations, their radars, their TAD systems, their air bases, their aircraft bases, they are all military installations. But they've not hit where civilians are. Yeah, they've not been in position to hit where civilians are. They've hit military installations. They've been in position to target specific areas that are used by American soldiers to launch against them. So definitely, it is also something like a preemptive kind of attack, as they are protecting themselves. So they've not declared the war specifically to give any country, maybe Oman, maybe Bahrain, maybe Qatar or UAE. No, they are fighting against specific areas where American military installations have been put, but they've not declared war in any other country.
Yeah, so that is so there is the impact is not that bad. It's not that permanent on the West Asia.
It is that permanent. It's big. Why? Because at the end of the day, all these countries are making money when you close from the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. All these countries are trades. All these countries, the biggest source of their money in terms of income, it is oil. Now, when you cross the Strait of Hormuz, all the oil vessels, all oil tanks that, take oil to Europe, to some parts of Asia, to Africa and all that, they use the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that's the shortest part. What happened to the alternatives that President Trump had come up with regards with the oil, with regards with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? He had come up with particular, alternatives, like lifting sanctions, a waiver on oil from, I think it was from Russia. From Russia. Yes, oil from Russia. So, and Iran,
more, yes, exactly. Yes. So how are these, alternatives going? Are they not really helping out with the, with the oil, with the prices, the increase?
Yeah. They are helping, but not that much, because I know the day came up and said that we are giving out a waiver we are giving up waivers to Russian oil that was already in navigation, that was already, on ground, and also Iran oil that was already, going somewhere. And this is after 47 years. So the sanctions or the uplifting of the sanctions is not that permanent. It's very limited. Two, when you close the Straits of Hormuz, there are other straits that can be used. One of them is the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal, which is here in Africa, and it's a little bit very far. And the Suez Canal is connected to what's called the Red Sea. And the Red Sea, now you have paramilitaries that are coming in to back up Iran. The parameters, we're talking about Hamas, we're talking about the Houthi, and we're talking about the Hezbollah. Now, these are paramilitary organizations or militia groups or terrorist organizations, as Americans refer to them. They have been operational and they've been getting all their military support from Iran. Now, for so long, they've not been so much involved. But now that the Hezbollah have been in position to get involved, that is in Lebanon. Actually, they launched against Israel. You know, that's why Israel was also in position to respond by hitting them in Beirut. So the Hezbollah coming in, they're getting involved. The Houthi are getting involved. Therefore, if you're saying that maybe using an alternative like a Suez Canal, yes, that can be okay because it almost accounts for 12% of the all the oils. We say that the Strait of Hormuz accounts for 20%. And then you have what's called the Port El Mandeba. Now, the Port El Mandeba is what you have between, it's on the border between Yemen and Djibouti. Now, that's the part that connects when you're coming from the Red Sea and then the Mediterranean Sea. Now, that specific part, that area is controlled by Houthi. Now, the Houthi it's a paramilitary organization or a terrorist group, like Americans refer to them. They are under the control of Iran. Now, this is the jeopardy, like a serious, serious problem. If you have the Strait of Hormuz locked up by Iran, but it's not locked up permanently, because at the end of the day, they allow vessels that pay money, 2 million yuan, 2 million. Okay, they are asking for money now because initially it was free of charge. Now, whoever wants to get their oil pass through that, you have to pay $2 million, but in Chinese money. That means also America is getting affected because if you're not paying using a dollar, America is not making the money. So the petrodollar is also coming down. And then the other problem that you're looking at what called the Port Mandeba. Port Mandeba will be an alternative as well, which you have between Djibouti and Djibouti and Yemen. And the Houthi, their headquarters is Yemen, meaning that they can be in position to block the exit or the entrance at the Red Sea. Now, if the Strait of Hormuz have already been closed and the world is struggling, what will happen as well when Port Mandeba has also been taken over by the Houthi? And they're also coming in because they've also gotten involved. They've been very operational in Iraq, in Yemen, and they've been getting a lot of support from Iran. So yes, when Donald Trump comes up and says, yes, we've given a waiver to Russia, too, Zelensky has also been crying several times that when you give Russia waiver, you're making it hard for us. Because as we speak, Russia makes 500 million pounds on a daily from their oil supplies. Now, Zelensky is like, you guys, you've allowed Russia, because Russian oil had been so much as sanctioned. Russia was not selling their oil. Now, Russia is getting more money now than any other European country in terms of their oil sales. So meaning that, yes, America is getting out of options. They are failing to get options. Yes, you're hoping out European powers to get oil, but you're powering Russia. Now, the more you get Russia powered, it means that even Ukraine is unsafe. Because Ukraine has been in position to put up some certain resistance because the Ukrainian war or the special military operation has been affecting Russia. And Russia has not been receiving money. Now Russia is receiving more money because of the waiver that you've been in position to put up. So meaning that you are now reigniting the Russian war machinery. And Russia has also been involved in the sharing of military intelligence with Iran. That's why all the installations that have been so much beaten up by the Iranians, Americans say that probably they have some kind of good intel that they are getting from the Russians. So the alternative that seems to be alternative source, the alternative route can be Port Mandeba, which is controlled by the Houthi, who are very loyal to Iran. And then others are very far. You can talk about Port Malacca, then that is very far away. The Strait of Malacca. You can talk about the Strait of Gibraltar. The Strait of Gibraltar is what connects Morocco and Spain, and that is very far. Actually, everything is changing because now countries are no longer getting their oil through what you call the Red Sea. Now they are coming along the East African coastline. They come to Somalia, Mogadishu, they come down to Mombasa, they go down to Cape of Good Hope, they come along the Indian Ocean, then they connect to Cape of Good Hope, and then they go to what you call the Atlantic waters, and then they connect to Europe. Now that distance is almost 15 times more expensive than the distance that you could have from Port Mandeba, then you connect to the Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and then you cross over to the Strait of Gibraltar. So it's a very expensive alternative that not so many companies can be in a position to contain for long.
Yeah, so That's basically the alternatives, from the closure of Strait of Hormuz. So those are the alternatives that are trying to be created to try and curb the inflation with the oil prices and all that. So before, we shall take a brief, a drift back to Joe Kent. So Joe Kent resigns on the 17th of March 2026. He resigns as his position. He was the director of the National Counterterrorism Center in the United States. So he resigns from this place, and in his resignation letter, he specifically blamed Israel for this conflict, that he said this conflict happened under false pretenses. He said that the United States was able to actually join or attack Iran under false pretenses, and blamed it on Israel together with his strong American lobby for pushing the United States into such a conflict. So he said he officially resigned because he says that this conflict had no formal ground. They do not have a particular reason, despite them saying it's all because of the nuclear program. And the funny bit of it is this nuclear program was started in the 19 something, and the United States was actually working together. It was backing Iran. Then later on, I think around the early 2000s, United States cut off, stopped supporting this nuclear program. And then, so this nuclear program is majorly what, gave them the ground or basis to attack. But then Joe Kent resigns, and his, resignation had a lot of internal conflicts that it rose, because he's a significant figure. He was once a U.S. Army Special Operations officer as well as CIA officer. So he resigns, and then, it sparked a lot of fury. A lot of people said he was, it was a principled stand, but then some said it was a misguided foreign policy. So do we see more leaders? Do we see something like this continuously happening? Do we see a lot of political instabilities continuously happening in the United States? Because we have Joe Kent resigning. We've seen Kamala Harris. She also made a statement about this kind of conflict. The United States leaders themselves, the officials, are also not supporting President Trump. So of course, you can't expect support from NATO, from UK, when the United States, the people that have been in power, people who understand this kind of conflicts, are also not backing him. Where do we see more leaders actually resigning, and do we see this breaking out into something huger than it actually is?
Yeah, now Joe Kent, one of the biggest gentlemen behind the counterterrorism unit, of course, came down. That's the gentleman that you're seeing on the screen. And then of late, actually, I think it was last night, Pam Bondi, that young lady who has been the Attorney General, has also resigned. And if Trump was in a position to post and say the great American patriot and the loyal friend, Pam Bondi is gone. And then Kash Patel, the FBI director, his account was hacked. His email was hacked by a certain group of hackers. Now, these are the closest people that you're seeing. And Peter Esgeth, that young man who is the Secretary of War, who is making a lot of, he was before the Senate hearing, and he was saying a lot of things. People were accusing him of raping women and fighting. It's a little bit getting dirty. Now, when a conflict like that happens, the people that so much affected are the people that are around the presidency. Now, that is always done because those people do not agree, or they are now up to the game. Now, when something like that is happening, all of what you need is people who are smart enough that can be in a position to stand and defend the president's decisions with a lot of data, with a lot of information. And you don't need anyone that is dirty at that hand, because anything that incriminates that person or that got that person incriminated maybe 10 years ago can be used against them. So what Trump is doing, or what is happening, Trump is cleaning his table. He needs to get new people that can be in a position to understand exactly what the American population wants, and those who can be in a position to speak out exactly. Yes, you should be in position to get more resignations.
Yes. Wait, why are you saying why Trump is doing this, cleaning his table, but these people actually resigning on a personal basis? They realize they no longer want anything to do with this, and they're leaving. It's not actually what it seems to be. Is it the fact that it's President Trump saying, firing these people, or it's no longer personal resignation, or it's on a deeper level, it's Trump, letting them go?
No, you can't let someone like a leader of counterterrorism just resign like that. Yeah. Now, that's a big person. Actually, it's an asset. Because by the time you turn out to be a leader of counterterrorism, you know too much. Yeah. Now, that person can be in a position, they get you vetted. They even look through what you started in grade 1.
So this is a very clean individual.
Yes, he's a very clean individual. So you just can't resign like that. No, it's because they are tables are turning. You can't have like someone like Pam Bondi, a very, very bright young lady that has been serving as an attorney general, just to go. No, you can't have an email account of someone like Kash Patel get act like that. Now, all this is done because when someone's getting fired, we fire people in so many ways. You can fire someone and say, okay, Rita, we want you to go with your respect. We don't want you to be like, okay, this person was fired. No, we're like, okay, turn in your resignation effective now. Because at the end of the day, what has been happening that these people have failed to protect Trump. That's why Trump is making a lot of mistakes. Now, when war is always fought in deception, you must be in position to come and deceive on behalf of your leader, even when you know that the mission was not sanctioned by everyone. But definitely, because these people are now dirty, you need the new faces. You need new faces that can be in position to stand with the presidency. So don't get surprised even when Kash Patel goes away. Don't get surprised, not surprised that Pam Bondi is also going away. So you need a team that's going to be in position to protect the presidency. Because at the end of the day, the president is the biggest, the highest accounting officer. All those people around him are his ADs. You're supposed to protect his image. Now that people have a lot of doubts in him, his ratings are going so low. So what do? Don't get surprised when Peter Edgeth goes. Don't get surprised when Marco Rubio goes as well. Because you need people that so much understand the intentions of the presidency and the objectives of this war.
But when these people go, these are the people that, you know, already have a very significant people do believe in them. People know how strong they are. They have a good military and, you know, leadership background in the United States. So they understand the system. So if he's to clean his table by taking away the good ones, who is going to help him out?
No.
Who is he planning to bring on?
When America, 1939 to 1955, the world was at war. And Britain had the Prime Minister called Winston Churchill. Now, Winston Churchill is the one that was in position to bring back the courage of the English troops, and they were in position to fight and reclaim their country. Now, after war, Britain needed someone. Now, he came out and contested again in 1945. And he was like, please, I'm the one that has liberated your country from war and everything. You know what people told him? You are good at war. Britain now wants peace. Yes, we are so much appreciative for you helping out and getting our country out of World War II. But now war has ended. We need a peaceful face. We need an individual that can be in position. Now, the question of timing in leadership is very key. I'll give you the last example. By the time they bring Barack Obama in 2007, all American people had lost hope. So you needed a young man that was a little bit very clean and was coming from the minority side. That's why you bring Barack Obama with a message, yes, we can. Because the American economy had crashed. So you need to bring a new figure that's going to bring a lot of morale and trust amongst the people. So if Pam Bondi is dirty and Peter Edgeth and all of them are a little bit dirty at personal level, and two, they are failed to protect the presidency. They are not bad people, but they are not so much good up to game right now. You need the new faces. At the end of the day, you don't get surprised when people's perception against Trump have changed. Now, all those, they are not mistakes. They are done by serious handlers who still want to have an image of the president protected. That's serious. So it's not like Joe Kent was a little bit incompetent or Pam Bondi was a little bit incompetent. No, a leader doesn't go. What do? You sacrifice the people around you. That's why Trump doesn't lose it when he said, I didn't want to start this war, but it was because of Marco Rubio. So people are saying, oh, yeah, we have a fool around us. We have a fool around the presidency. So when Marco Rubio goes, it goes with all that blame. Now, a leader is supposed to remain clean. That's the deeper part of politics. A leader is supposed to be clean. You must have someone that you blame for the wrongs. So it's now Pam Bondi, it's now a Patch Cartel, it is now, and all those people that you see resigning. Yeah. But of course, the American cause doesn't change. America will still go get involved seriously. Now that they are doing that, probably they are planning for very, very serious launch or retaliation against the Iran people.
Yeah, so that is that's from Iran. That was with Joe Kent's resignation, then the resignation of Pam Bondi. So different officials are residing in the United States, and it all looks like it's not just happening. It's not just strange. No, it's all a calculated move, according to our analyst. So that's what we had for you today. It's Friday. We always come up with different deeper views, deeper stories, and deeper analytical points of views for our different stories that have been making news and rounds all all over the world, you know, all over Africa, globally. So we always do that. So we are going to be ending our show today to remind you all today is Good Friday, and we, you know, we are happy to celebrate all Christians with this kind of Easter weekend that we are having. We have Good Friday, we have Holy Saturday tomorrow, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday. So, you know, it's a public holiday filled with over 4 days. So it's Christians, you know, we are happy with the Christians. And Good Friday, not to forget, it stands for the crucifixion of Jesus. He died for people's sins, to cleanse all of us and to strengthen our relationships with God. So it's one of the most sacred days in the Christianity faith. But before I leave, I want to talk about our Beauty in Slums pageant. It's a campaign happening right here on TV1. We have forms, you know, you can pick up your forms and register and be part of these forms. So this Beauty in Slums is majorly to bring out the beauty that's in the low areas, people that actually can't afford to go to these high, you know, pageants that are very much expensive. So Beauty in Slums stand out at individual level, at a level of each household. You can stand up for your particular area. You know, there are areas that are called as slums at that, not basically because they're actually slums, but because, you know, the economy is not that good for them. So we want all these people, we want to include all of you in this kind of pageant, because every girl deserves this opportunity to come up, stand for their community, and also bring up their cause. So that's what we have for you. We also have UG Kids. It's a talent showcase. So, you know, it's, you know how you see our Britain's Got Talent. So we also have UG Kids for you. So TV1 has decided to also bring this to you. You can showcase your talents. Do not sit on your talent or let it slide. So stay tuned. We have Skilling Uganda coming up next. We have Know Your Government in the night. We have TV1 Sports at 3. We also have Bits and Bites.
So you said you're coming home for Easter?
Yes, to my mother. Of course, I miss my mom. So yeah, that is it.
But you told me you're coming to...
I am at my home. Yes, my home. You guys have a nice weekend.
So you're not coming?
Not at all. Okay. We love you all. Have a nice weekend.